What makes a stock a great potential candidate to day trade? This stock went up 300% in just a couple of hours, while most blue chip stocks you would have to wait multiple years for that to take place. Problem is, usually when you see these 300% plays, you're late to the party. So how do we find these stocks that make these massive moves like this before they even happen, so we can take advantage of it, reap the benefits, and get incredible gains? Well, to understand how to find big gainers, we first have to understand volume. Volume is the total quantity of shares traded by traders for a specific stock. So the more buyers and sellers, the higher the volume. Volume can be a great indication if a stock is hot or not. Think of it as almost the amount of eyes watching a stock. The more people watching it, the bigger the spikes. As a day trader, you'll quickly realize price movement is your friend. That's why day traders like volume so much, because when there's a lot of volume, the price will move a lot more, giving us more opportunities for trading plays. While if you trade a stock with little to no volume, it's not going to be moving as much, resulting in fewer amounts of opportunities. Not only that, traders like volume for liquidity reasons, as if you're a buyer and you want to sell your position at a specific point, you can only sell that position if there's another buyer. It doesn't just poof out of midair. There needs to be someone else on the other side of the transaction. When there are low amounts of volume, it might be hard for you to find another buyer, resulting in it being harder for you to exit your position. So we now know the impact volume has on a stock, but what creates the actual movement of a stock? Well, there's actually a few factors. One is scarcity. I'm sure you've all heard the good old supply and demand. If there is a low supply of something and a lot of demand for it, that'll increase the price, right? So we identified that volume is the demand in a type of way. But how do we identify the supply? The answer? The float. The float is the total amount of shares available for public investors to buy and sell. Some companies like Amazon have 450 million shares out there in circulation, while other companies like some penny stocks only have a couple million shares out there. Every stock is going to be different. You can get this number by going on Yahoo Finance, searching the ticker symbol, click the statistics tab, then scroll down a bit till you see the float section. That's the amount of shares available right now. Now, if we go back to the supply and demand example, if we want the price to rise, we want high amounts of volume, which is the demand, and low amounts of supply, which is the float. So in most cases for day trading, the lower the float, the better, as the less shares out there creates more scarcity, meaning bigger price movements. When I'm day trading, I like to find stocks that have a 20 million share float or lower. Like I said before, the lower, the better. If it has anything more than 20 million, I won't day trade it, unless it's a really slow day and there aren't a lot of options out there. If you ever find a stock that has a massive amount of volume, a low float, and it's a top gainer, you will quickly see why this is a day trader's dream, because the amount of volatility from this is like nothing you have ever seen before. You will literally have single candles that make 10% moves. So when day trading, those should really be your filters. Lots of volume and a low float. That's how moves like this exist. Now, filters are important and all, but what's even more important is a catalyst: news. News is such a huge part of day trading, as a company with insanely great news has a greater chance of blowing up. Maybe they found a cure to a specific type of cancer. Maybe they just made a partnership with another big company. Or maybe they just crushed their earnings for that quarter. All of these news catalysts would result in a huge spike in price for that specific stock. Companies will release news articles every single trading day in the morning, sometimes as early as 4 in the morning to as late as 9 a.m. This is Eastern Standard Time, by the way. For the most part, the most important news articles will come out at around 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. They will also usually come out at round numbers. So there will be a batch of news articles that come out at 7 a.m., then another batch of articles at 7:30, then some more at 8. You get the idea. Now, not all news articles are good. Sometimes companies will release an article and say something like, "Best Buy just announced it will repaint all of its parking space lines in its parking lot." A bit exaggerated, but you get the point. Not all news articles are going to result in huge spikes. Our goal is to find the news article as early as possible, decipher if it's a good news article or not, then enter and hopefully make a trade like this one, where we get in before everyone else even realizes the news. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do we find these news articles? Ah, yes. How wise of you to be thinking that. Well, there's a few ways actually. Some brokers will have a news section on their platform and show all the recent news articles that just came volume out. But I don't really like this strategy because most of the time 95% of it is just fluff and not very important articles, resulting in no price movement. Another option is to use a stock screener. So say if it's 8:57 a.m. and it's about to turn 9, sometimes I'll open my stock screener and watch the top gainers of the morning. Considering it automatically refreshes, I'll wait till it turns 9 o'clock, scroll down a bit, and maybe I see a new ticker symbol pop up that wasn't there before, and it just spiked up 10%. You can then simply go to Yahoo Finance, which is completely free, search the ticker symbol, then hopefully there's a news article that came out in the past 10 minutes, and you can hop on that train before it leaves the station. Then this 10% gain might turn into a 50% gain. Who knows? You can also do the same thing with relative volume. Relative volume tells us how many shares have been traded in relation to how many shares are usually traded. So if a stock has a relative volume of 60, that means the volume right now is 60 times higher than normal, which in most cases means it has a good news catalyst. Now, these strategies are nice, don't get me wrong, and it definitely has worked for me before. The thing is, it's not very consistent. For one, you're just hoping a new stock pops up on your screener, and sometimes that doesn't even happen. Then two, you're hoping you find it soon enough to where you can search the ticker symbol and find the news article before it even blows up. The problem with that is if you're finding stocks that are already up 10%, most of the time you're already late and the news article has already done its work, and that's the peak of the price movement. So we need to find stocks with high amounts of volume, low float, find their news article as soon as they come out, and not just any articles, but good news articles to hopefully enter before everyone else does. One way I found great success with this is using a news scanner. Just like a stock scanner, a news scanner is constantly refreshing, finding the best news. So instead of finding the price movement first, then searching up the news article, we get the news article first and enter before the price has even moved. Now, there's a lot of different news screeners out there. Some are free, but not as good. Some are great, but cost money. There's a lot of options. This is up to you to find the right one based off your needs. But if you want some help, I'll put the one I use in the description. What I like about this one is all the features it provides. So instead of searching for ticker symbols, it'll have a live feed of all the articles that are released. So you can get on during key moments like we were talking about before, like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and see if there are good news articles that pop up. What's even cooler is you can add filters to the scanner. So say if you only want stocks priced between $1 and $20, stocks that have volume of 100K or more, and have a float of under 20 million, this scanner will only show you news articles of stocks with those specific requirements, which is so damn powerful. And we really just scraped the surface with the filters. There are so many more. So you can watch the scanner at key times, have your filters enabled. If you see one pop up, check it out, read the article, and decipher how good the news is. The better the news, the better the spike. The next thing you might be wondering is, how do you tell if a news article is good? Well, the more you trade, the better you get at identifying articles on how good they are. But for all the beginners out there, this is the list I've made rating popular keywords from best to worst. If you see these keywords in the title of the article, it's most likely a good news article. The better the keyword, the better the article. So you can add this video to a playlist or save the video or whatever and just come back to the screenshot if you want to rely on that. But doing this whole strategy with finding great news articles and getting in plays like this before they happen has worked wonders for me. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. I should also note, all these top gainers might not be from news. Sometimes stocks will spike up huge amounts because they broke a key resistance level. Sometimes for literally no reason at all. So you really could use that low float / volume strategy and just trade the top gainers off technical analysis. That's completely fine too, and sometimes I even do that. But I found trading stocks with a low float, high volume, and a great news catalyst gives a lot more consistent gains, and you truly feel a lot better and safer when day trading a stock that has a good news catalyst. It's almost like trading a stock that has a magnet above it pulling it up, so you can be more confident when trading. So you know how to find the stocks when day trading, but you also need to know how to trade them correctly. Well, luckily for you, I did the testing for you. I tested a trading strategy with 100 trades and it profited 130% in just 2 months. So yeah, it's pretty good. Go check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.